I can confidently say this is the best Tulum travel guide on the internet. Over 2 months of research have gone into it, so close that search bar, close down all the other videos, and give me your time and attention so that I can give you the perfect 7-day itinerary to this beautiful paradise. To start off this trip, you're going to be landing at the Cancun airport, and with that, you've got 3 ways to get to Tulum. Either a rental car, a taxi, or a shuttle, and that'll take you about a couple hours. I recommend renting a car because you're going to need it to get around, but however you choose to do it, let's go ahead and check into your hotel. If you want to see my hotel recommendations, just hang around till the end of the video. With today being a travel day, it's probably best to take it easy, and one of the best things to do in Tulum is to go to the beach clubs. Personally, my favorite is Be Tulum and Nomade. And a third favorite would have to go to Papaya Playa. The truth is, they're pretty expensive, but if you're just there for a single meal, it won't be too bad. If your ideal first date isn't just reclining by the beach and ordering good food, then I also recommend adding Clandestino into your day. It's a nearby cenote, which in all honesty is nowhere near the best in Tulum, but it's extremely convenient and just a few minutes away. There will be many more amazing cenotes to come. For dinner, I highly recommend getting yourself some insanely delicious tacos, either at a place by the name of Loco or another popular spot being Gitanos. Day number 2 is a bit of a day trip and an epic adventure. We're going to be driving all the way to Punta Allen, which is about a 2-hour drive outside of Tulum. So we've just arrived at the end of the beach road going down through Tulum. The whole crew, including Tim back there, are ready to go somewhere where I've never been before. We are now going into Siancan, which is a reserve. It's a flourishing ecosystem of wildlife. So this is the first town that we came across. Welcome to Punta Allen, and we got here in like an hour. That right there is our guide, Juan. We gotta follow him. We're going to a mangrove to start our 3-hour tour around the area. So we paid $2,500 for that tour, and I heard you could hire a local fisherman. It's also cheaper if you have more people, but to have a private boat, it's $125. And so it begins. I feel like I'm all the way back in the Amazon rainforest. Neither one of us can swim. We've come out to the middle of the ocean to look for sea turtles. The tortuga. Here he comes, here he comes! Woo! That's all you'll get to see. And this is the last stop, known as the pool, or El Piscine. It is the pristine blue water you thought of before booking your ticket to Mexico, and it's probably one of the best reasons that you need to come down here to experience Punta Allen. This is insane. You gotta ask for Juan.
Yes, he's amazing.
He's number 1.
Number 1.
For the third day, started off with a delicious breakfast at La Pabeta or Del Cielos. As I mentioned before, Tulum is extremely well known for its cenotes, and this one right here is the famous Grand Cenote, which is conveniently close to Tulum Centro. Now, if you're down to go a little further out, there's a whole string of them in one region, and the most famous being Dos Ojos. There are probably 5 to 10 of these cenotes on this one street, and so you can either buy access to all of them or individually. The price is actually a little expensive, but I definitely recommend seeing at least 1 or 2 of them if it's your first time to Tulum. I should also mention that if you're a diver, you can get a completely unique experience by seeing it with a tank and fins. For dinner, I highly recommend you go and check out either Kitchen Table, or if you're looking for some incredible sushi, Ukami. It is a brand new day, and it's time to appreciate that thing you so often sleep through. One thing that you must do here in Tulum is catch a sunrise. Now Tulum is actually east facing, which means you won't get sunsets on this ocean side, but you do get some world-class starts to the day. Without a doubt, my favorite place that I've stayed in Tulum is right here. It's called Zorba Tulum Beach Homes, and true to its name, it's right on the beach. It's so incredible. Being able to end the night off with that, start my day off with that. I love being by the water, and to be able to get up a couple stories over it, it's so incredible. As you guys know, Tulum is a haven for yogis, spiritual travelers, And then there's me. I can't even touch my toes. But today I'm gonna give a try to this whole spiritual morning routine, and we're here at Holistica to start it off. That was the best yoga session I've ever had, which says a lot. I don't normally like yoga, and I loved this. You are the best yoga instructor I've come across. You have to ask for a Ransa. I feel so relaxed. I feel stretched. That was amazing. This was such a out-of-body magical experience. I mean, the most untraditional sounds, and Chris is an expert in all of these unconventional instruments, and the atmosphere of this room only makes it even more incredible. So we started our day with the sun, and now we're going to end it. I highly recommend going down to one of the main beaches and just going on a beautiful sunset beach run. The sand is so fine, and as long as it's not too crowded, it makes for some incredible barefoot running. Now we can't just be healthy all day, so it's time to enjoy one of the best burgers you have ever eaten. There are no excuses. When you come to Tulum, you have to try one of these burgers right here. Bonita's Burgers is a place I came to a year and a half ago. Low-key changed my life. And now I've tried their menu, I've had their fries, their cocktails, and everything is exquisite, even their dessert. Undoubtedly, the best food in Mexico sometimes just comes from one of these little stands. This is one of the streets where you can find all sorts of incredible vendors, from corn in a cup to these insane crepes, and of course, tacos! Yes. Tacos. All the best tacos are right here on this street, right by the big Tulum sign. If you just come down a little bit, you'll find it. You definitely have to check it out. Now today is going to involve a lot of driving because we're actually leaving Tulum. It's up to you in which order you do these two destinations, but let's go ahead and start it off at Cenote Iquil. Hands down, this is my favorite cenote, and I highly recommend you get here either first thing in the morning or towards the closing hours, because at least when tourism was in full bloom, this was a very busy place. But if you're one of the first people here, you might have the first hour or two pretty much to yourself. Not so far away is our next stop, and that is the Coba Pyramid. And unlike so many of these other sites around Mexico, you can actually climb on top of it. And so you can imagine that back in the day where the only way you could get a view like this would be a mountain, it must have been absolutely godlike to be up here. So far I'm really impressed with Coba, giving it a big thumbs up.
Just like you should give this video.
Make your way back into Tulum, and if you're looking for a delicious dinner, one of the spots that I loved was Casa Banana. Their steak and their veggies were definitely highlights of the menu. Without a doubt, one of the best restaurants in all of Tulum, in all of the world, is Burrito Amor. From breakfast to dinner, it doesn't matter, but we're going to start our morning here with a delicious breakfast burrito. Often when you sit down, you'll have mariachi bands, you'll have local artists come and play music. If you're following this itinerary, this is sadly one of our final days in Tulum, and so I want to give you two different options. A, go and hang out by a beach club just as we did when we first arrived. Bringing heaven to paradise. Ooh. Oh my goodness. The best tres leches on planet Earth. Or if you're still looking for more adventure and experiences, then we're going to drive about an hour away to the Muyil Lagoon. And this is basically a pristine blue water, lazy river where you just float for close to an hour and it takes you around this beautiful river. If you're not already burnt out, I highly recommend making this one of your priority stops. If it's before 3 p.m., then I highly recommend you try one of the most famous, if not the most famous taco in Tulum, at Taqueria Honorio. And a second and nearly as famous taco spot is Antojitos La Chiapaneca. And guys, if this is your final night in Tulum, please do not leave until you've had dinner at Meze. If you think you know good Mediterranean food, you need to come here to Meze. It's the bomb.com. The baba ganoush, the hummus, the everything. Cheers, guys. Woo! Now, the one thing that you probably aren't seeing much of in this guide is nightlife, and as it currently stands, that side of Tulum is not currently in operation as everything closes by 11, but maybe when you go, you'll have better luck. And for that, the biggest parties usually happen at the biggest beach clubs. We have hit the 1 week mark, and for our final day, depending on when you go and how much time you have left, we're going to be leaving Tulum and heading back up north toward Cancun. And if you were traveling between mid-May and mid-September, you're within the whale shark season. If you've never seen whale sharks before, these are incredible creatures, and on your way back, you actually stop off in Isla Mujeres, which is a really beautiful island with pristine blue water that looks like this. It's a solid day trip. If you have a little bit more time on your hands, 2 nights or more to be exact, you have to go to the island of Holbox, which is an incredible island getaway with awesome food, especially if you go and eat at the Mandarina. And with an incredible day trip up to the north of the island, you get to see these beautiful creatures right here, the flamingos. Now to wrap this video up, because it's the best travel guide to Tulum on the internet, let's talk about some key points that you need to know. First of all, where should you stay in Tulum? Of course, everybody wants to stay in a hotel just like this, right in front of that. But here's the thing about Tulum. Prices go way up as soon as you're near the water. So if you want to save serious money but don't want to compromise a ton, let me show you a great plan B. This area right here is known as Tulum Centro, and if you stay in La Valeta, El de Azama, or Tulum Centro, essentially off and away from the beach, then you're gonna be paying a whole lot less, maybe a third of the price. You'll have a ton of shopping, a ton of great food, so if you're looking to save some money, then check out Tulum Centro and the surrounding area. I could not make a Tulum travel guide without addressing one of the most asked questions, and that is, how is the seaweed, also known as the sargasso? Luckily today, it is actually really chill. There's a little bit on the shoreline, and that could change overnight. If a storm comes through, if the weather changes, it gets absolutely covered in seaweed, and that's why I can only share what it looks like today, and it might be totally different when you arrive, but hopefully you get to see a beach like this and you get to see incredible blue water like that. Here's the reality of getting around Tulum toward the beachfront. You're going to have to pay for parking. At the very least, it's gonna be 100, but most of the time it's closer to 200 pesos for 6 hours. This is what the main road looks like. There are big semi trucks coming up and down. There is neck and neck traffic, taxi drivers pulled onto the shoulder. It gets really hectic. And so if you choose to take a bicycle or an e-bike, just know that it's kind of sketchy, and I personally wouldn't recommend it. So really, there's only one good grocery store in all of Tulum, and they have everything from organic to fresh ingredients. It's here at the Gypsy Market. I'm not gonna say it's the best grocery store, it's a very limited selection, but it's the best that you have. If you're a digital nomad like myself, then odds are pretty good you're relying off of the internet. And that used to be a reason that I could never stay long-term here in Tulum, but luckily, as of recently, there are some select places that have fast internet. Most places, the internet is still abysmal, but if you stay at places like Kai Tulum or the Strabon, I was actually able to get some form of like a medium speed fiber internet, which is good enough for me. And if you want to see some noteworthy hotels and restaurants, just be sure to screenshot this part right here so that you can keep it on your phone when you go travel Tulum. If you've made it this far in the video, you've found a ton of value in here. I have invested the past 2 months in researching this area and making sure I can get the best information for you. So if you found it useful, please do me a favor. All you gotta do is hit that like button. It's free to do. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of my face and more Mexico content. And guys, my name is Christian, and let's get lost again in the next one.